Hello guys, welcome back to another Strixhaven limited set review. Today we're going to be jumping a little bit from the normal set. We're going to be looking at the mystical archives. I've been feeling a bit sick lately, so I haven't been able to record the golden ones. And I want to put a video out, so I'm going to go straight to the archive, which is quite a bit smaller and easier to judge in my opinion. So let's get started. Just a reminder, 2-1 merchant. These are my opinions, first impressions. You're welcome to disagree. Do let me know your opinions about the cards and what you disagree with. And also, these cards, there'll be one per pack. They're only mythic, rare, and uncommon. So obviously, the uncommon is going to be common, more common than the other ones, and etc, etc, etc. Anyways, so let's get started. We have Approach of the Second Sun. So if the spell was cast from your hand and you cast another spell named Approach, the second sun this game, you win the game. Otherwise, you put 7 from the top and you gain 7 life. This is a very good win con for any slower control-y deck, even mid-range, especially in seal. This is absolutely insane. I'm gonna hate playing against this. You're gonna need a counter spell. Counter the second time they cast it. The first time doesn't really matter, meaning they gain 7 life. But other than that, it doesn't really matter. But this card, whenever I play it, I'm gonna be very upset, and whenever I play it, whenever I play against it, I'm going to be upset. Whenever I play it, I'm going to be very, very happy with myself. Next, I have Day of Judgment 2 and double white for a Wrath. Wraths are always great. 4 mana Wrath is great. No downsides. Very, very good card. I'm going to be playing this card a lot. Like, this is a very, very good card. So, one thing we're going to see a lot, we're going to see a lot of cards here that we haven't seen yet. But a lot of cards that are more constructed minded. These two, even though they are both good in constructed, but they also happen to be very good in draft. Next I have Defiant Strike. So this is the first uncommon, so it's target creature gets +1/+0 until turn, draw a card. This is very good with Magecraft, that's in the format. +1/+0 when drawing a card is nice for 1 mana. It cycles. Like, this is fine. This is a card you're happy to have in your deck. If you don't have it, you don't really care. If you have it, you're fine with it. Divine Gambit, double white. Exotic artifact, creature, enchantment. Upon controllers, they may put a permanent card from the hand to the battlefield. I was not a fan of this card in Cowhelm, and I feel like there's enough big stuff or mid to big stuff that this card is not going to be great, because first of all, you're not exiling that many big stuff, and if you exile smaller stuff, they might play one of those bigger ones. This card is just never great. If you have multiples of it, it gets better, but since it's an archive, you're not gonna have multiples of it. I mean, you shouldn't. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this card. I'll try my best not to play that one. Next, I have our first rare, which is Ephemerate. So for singular white, you can exile a creature and then return to the battlefield on its owner's control, or target creature you control. And then it has Rebound, which means it goes to exile, and then on your upkeep, you get to cast it again, and then it's gone. You get some extra ETBs. You can save a creature from combat. It has nice plays, but it's a lot. I think it's a lot more constructed minor, but it does have some nice stuff to do. And also, 1 mana to trigger Magecraft is always nice. And with Rebound, that means you're triggering it twice, because the second time you also cast it. So worth watching the space. Next, I have Gift of States. I've never seen this card before. Also, may I just say that the artwork on 99% of these cards it's free fucking. Oh, I shouldn't say. It's fantastic. I already saw it. Doesn't matter. Gift of States, 1 and a white for a sorcery. If an opponent controls more lands, then you search a library for up to 3 plains cards, review them, put them into your hand. You're gonna have to be playing it, 2 colors probably. If you're playing 3 colors, you might not have enough plains for this. Drawing 3 cards is nice. Well, even though the 3 lands, it thins your deck. I do like this card in some aggressive white decks, because it will help you catch up on lands. It will thin your deck. I think this is good. This is a decent card for those decks. If you're mid-range or ramp, this card is gonna suck. But in those aggressive white decks, this card seems very decent. God's Willing, everyone's favorite. Singular white for an instant that gives a creature protection from a color. That's just very good utility, and scries 1. Again, 1 mana for an instant sorcery with Magecraft in the format always goes up in value. Well, with a mechanic like Magecraft, I mean. So this is already good, and now it's even better because of Magecraft. Saving a creature is amazing. Being able to make your creature basically unblockable is great, and has the added spice of Scry 1. Love it, love it, love this card. Minotaur, single white, instant, counter target spell unless his controller pays 1. A lot of people are gonna play this card and they're gonna get someone and they're gonna feel like so smart. But this card is, I don't think you should be playing it. I don't think it's good enough. I feel like in Vintage Cube, for example, people love this card, but like there, you can definitely surprise your opponents, and they have a lot more impactful spells that countering this will actually matter a lot more. The kind of spells you're gonna be, haha, got your opponent, here are not meaningful enough to play a card like this that more often than not will probably be dead. It'll be a horrible top deck. I am not a fan of Minotaur. I think this is a lot more constructed minded. A lot of people are going to play it, a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I'm not a fan of this card in a non-powered format. Limited format, that is. So yeah, not a fan. Although, again, 1 mana instant Magecraft, that's nice. Revitalize, nope. So 1 and a white, you gain 3 life and draw a card. With Magecraft, obviously goes a little bit up in value, but it's so low in value that you're probably not gonna play this. You're gonna maybe play this as a 23rd card if you're desperate, but like, please try to avoid playing this card. This card is not good. This card is insane. Shorts to Plowshares. A singular white, exile target creature its controller gains life equals to its power. This is fan-freaking-tastic removal. Pick it every time you see it. Play 10 of it if you can. Play as many as you can get. This is insane. This is amazing. Please, please, and please take it and play it. Teferi's Protection, 2 and a white for an instant. Until the end of your next turn, your life total your life total can't change, and you gain protection from everything your opponents you control. Phase out. Phasing out means they are treated as though they don't exist. They phase in before you untap during your untap step. Exile it. This card is very good in Commander. I don't know how to feel about it in Draft. Like, it's not a time walk per se, but like, it is, but not. But your opponent gets to draw a card and play spells, but you can't hurt you. So like, this is conflicting. I'm not sure how to evaluate it. It's definitely cool for constructed, but I'm not sure how to feel about limited. Maybe just like a desperate kind of, I'm gonna die, so save myself. Sorry. Okay, now into the blue cards. We have Blue Sun Zenith. Sorry about that. So triple blue and X. Target players draw X cards. You're gonna usually be targeting yourself unless you can mill your opponent, which, worth noting, is definitely something you can do. Shuffle it back into your library. This is just a good card to have in your slower decks. Your mid-range slower decks, you're probably not gonna want it in your aggressive deck, but you're probably not playing blue in your aggressive decks. This is a good card. If you get it and you're in blue, you're happy. Very hard to splash. Triple blue is very, very hard to splash, if not impossible. But if you're playing blue, you're 100% gonna want this card in your deck. This is just a way to refill your hand and even a win-con possibility. Brainstorm, this is not good. I'm already gonna say before I even read it. Singular blue, draw 3 cards and then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. So in limited, without fetch lands, without a way to shuffle your deck, you're just gonna brainstorm lock you, which is basically you're just gonna know the next 2 cards that are gonna come from the top of your deck. It's just gonna be worse than opt, basically. This has constructed in mind. In this kind of format, it's just gonna be a worse opt, which I guess you do sometimes play opt, but I don't think brainstorm will be all that playable here. Although again, Magecraft makes it go up in value, and it does cycle. It does, replace itself, so that is nice. But I'm not a big fan of it here. If I have a lot of Magecraft, I might play. Otherwise, I'll probably leave it aside and just keep it for my constructed decks. Next, I have Compulsive Research. 2 in the blue for sorcery. Target player draws 3 cards. Then that player discards 2 cards unless they discard a land card. So this is one better than a divination, and you're usually gonna be discarding a land. If you have to discard 2, it kind of sucks. But yeah, I do like this card. I do like this card a lot. Any blue deck will wanna play this. Also, fantastic artwork. I love all of them. Again, Brainstorm as well. Great card. Counter spell. Double blue for counter target spell. Plain and simple. It counters everything. Doesn't matter if it's a removal spell, doesn't matter if it's a creature, planeswalker, whatever it is, you can counter. This is amazing. Once again, it's double blue, so it's a bit rough. But you don't mind not playing it on turn 2. If you play on turn 6, 7, countering the bomb, that's fine. So even with 3 color deck, and obviously if blue is one of my 2 main colors, I'll probably play it. If any other 2 color blue decks is 100% in. So yeah, this is a very good card. Memory Lapse, counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, put it on top of someone's library instead of putting to that player's graveyard. 1 in the blue, worth noting. This is good tempo. If your opponent's missing land, countering that spell and then locking them for the next turn is very, very sweet. I do like it. I do especially like it in if you have a lot of flyers and you're putting some kind of early pressure and then just a memory lapse to tempo them out. Especially good there, but I think I would still play it in any other deck. It's just good tempo. Next, I have Mind's Desire. This is definitely constructed, minded. Shuffle your library, then exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost, and it has Storm, so it copies for each other spell cost this turn. How many spells are you gonna cost in a turn for this to matter in limited? Like this is 6 mana, so are we talking maybe 2 spells before this, and then you're getting 3 cards from Mind's Desire, so you're paying 6 mana for 3 cards, and you might not even be able to play them if you have 2 lands, for example, because they don't go into your hand, they go into exile. You have to cast them till end of turn. Not a fan of this in limited. If you somehow have some crazy ass storm deck, somehow, if you're like ramping a lot and then you have a lot of cheap opts and brainstorms or defiant strikes or things like that, and then you just cost this for 5, 6, sure. But other than that, like I'm really not a fan of this. Next, I have Negate. 1 in a blue, counter target non-creature spell. This is sideboard. Good against removal heavy deck, good against people with powerful mystical archives. It's just good sideboard. I would probably main deck one depending how the format goes, but it's just definitely good sideboard for any blue deck, so that's good. Opt 1 in a blue, singular blue for scry 1, draw a card at an instant speed. Great with Magecraft, filler otherwise, which it's fine filler, like scrying and drawing a card is nice, like it gets you to whatever you're missing. Is it a land, is it a creature, is it a removal? This will help you find it, so it's good filler, and with Magecraft is a good card. Strategic Planning, never been a fan of this card in limited, in any other previous format, let's say. 1 in the blue for a sorcery that look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 in your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Again, it goes up in value because of Magecraft and other cards that care about instant sorcery in your graveyard. Well, cards in your graveyard, I guess you're not necessarily getting instant and sorceries. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of strategic planning. If you have enough, maybe Magecraft, like a lot of it, then I might play. But even then, there's better instant and sorcery to be playing. If you have enough cards that care about cards in graveyard, then maybe I might play. But even then, not that big of a fan. I'm not a fan of strategic planning. Oh, this is my favorite card. This is definitely my favorite card for all decks. So we have Tezzer's Gambit, which is 3 and a Phyrexian blue. Phyrexian mana for you people that haven't played with it before. You can pay 2 life instead of paying whatever color it is. So for example, this one you can either play blue or 2 life. Draw 2 cards, then proliferate. I always read proliferate because apparently I'm slightly dyslexic, I think. I'm not, sorry about that. But it's gonna be a 3 mana divination for every deck. Doesn't matter what color you're playing. You can be playing mono white. You can be playing 4 color non-blue. You're gonna have access to a divination. That has the upside of proliferating. I said it right that time. Which can, there are some synergy in the format. But this card is great. This fits in every deck. Drawing 2 cards for 3 mana. Sorry. Is great. Obviously losing 2 life is never great, but that's the price I'm willing to pay. That's great. This card every deck, whenever I see it, I'm taking it. Love it. It's probably my favorite mystical archive, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's how I feel about it. Next, I have Time Warp. 3 and double blue for target player takes an extra turn after this one. Taking extra turns is great. Double blue, obviously harder in 3 color decks, but I'll probably play in 3 color decks anyway. I love 3 color decks. And even though this format pushes you to be certain 2 colors, you can obviously mix certain two colors, two different two color pairs, and make a three color deck. So yeah, Time Warp, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Taking an extra turn is nice. 5 mana is a fine cost for that. So yeah, that's great. Even if I'm just playing an extra land and drawing an extra card with this, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Whirlwind Denial, 2 and a blue for an instant. For each spell and ability your opponents control, counter it unless controller pays 4. So it's a 3 mana counter spell, basically. I've never been a big fan of it. It was in Theros? I think it was Theros Beyond Death. I was not a fan of it. I didn't usually play it, but it's okay. It's a fine card. It's an okay. I'm not a fan of 3 mana counter spells, especially ones that are not deterministic or give me other value, like the one that surveilled one, the one that could hit abilities as well. I guess this one can as well. So it's fine, but I'm not that big on it. Agonizing Remorse, 1 and a black for sorcery. Target opponent reviews the hand. You choose an online card from it or a card from the graveyard. Exile that card. You lose a life. I kinda like this card. I didn't play much of it in its format, which again I believe it was Theros. I might be mistaken. I do like it coming from the sideboard a lot more in the main deck, because this is a dead top deck, and if your opponent is a aggro deck that can empty the hand, this will be dead even in the early game. It's good against bombs that you kind of just want to get rid. If they have some kind of graveyard synergy stuff, you can get rid of a card in the graveyard, so it's never dead. But I'm more of a fan of this card from the sideboard, like a Duress kind of thing, or I guess Duress is also in the format. Next I have Crux of Fate, 3 and double black for sorcery. Choose one, destroy all dragons or destroy all non-dead dragons. It's a 5 mana Wrath in black. I'm happy to have this in my deck. I love Wrath everything, kill everything. I'm happy. Although there are a handful of dragons in this format, I don't think that's gonna come up too often though. For someone to have Crux of Fate and the opponent happen to have a dragon and a non-dragon, so it gets awkward. I would definitely come up, but not that often. Dark Ritual, a singular black for add 3 black mana. This is a constructed card. Obviously getting 2 extra mana, so obviously you can, on turn 1 you can play a 3-drop, on turn 2 you can play a 4-drop. Sure, but like, I think most of the time it's going to be a dead card, being triple black, so you're probably going to be casting a black card. It kind of narrows the options. I'm not a fan. I feel like this is going to punish you more often than it's going to be going to do cool stuff and give you a big advantage. You're probably going to do this and play like a 4 mana creature on turn 2 and then get it killed, and you just got 2 for 1. So I'm not a fan of it. Although with Magecraft again it goes up in value, but I don't think it goes up enough for me to even consider playing it. Next up, Demonic Tutor. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, and shuffle your library. For 1 and a black. So this is basically a second copy of your best card. So if you have a bomb, this is a second copy of it. Or if you need a removal, you can find it. Or if you're desperate and need a land, you can find it too, especially if you're splashing a color. I would definitely take it and play it if I'm in a black deck. This card is good. Sorry, it just is a good card. Second copy of your bomb is already worth considering, especially only at 2 mana, and has enough flexibility since I can search for any card. I do like that. Next I have Doomblade, 1 and a black for destroy target non-black creature at instant speed. Good removal. Obviously if you're playing against a lot of black creatures it's gonna be awkward, but even the black decks are gonna have non-black creatures, so even then it's not gonna be a dead card. 2 mana removal is hard to come by nowadays, so I'm very happy to have a Doomblade in my deck. Duress, singular black. Target opponent reveals the hand. You choose a non-creature non-land card from it that player discards that card. This is like Agonizing Remorse, but worse in the main deck. This is definitely a sideboard card. Gotta say again, the artwork is fantastic. Eliminate, 1 and a black for an instant that destroy target creature planeswalker of mana value 3 or less. Again, removal for the early game. 2 mana removal is hard to come by. It has obviously its limitations, but I'm happy to play it. Inquisition of Kozilek, a singular black for a sorcery. Target player reveals the hand. You choose a non-land card from it with mana value 3 or less. That player discards that card. I feel like this card is just not gonna be good enough in limited, unless I'm on the play against an aggro deck, and I'm kind of want to disrupt them. But even then, I need it to be my opening hand. I feel like this card is gonna be dead so fast, and even then, even when it's not dead, you're not taking a card that's impactful enough. So this is, for me, this is definitely a constructed card, and enough chance of being okay from the sideboard. But even then, I'm not a fan of it. Signing Bloods, double black for sorcery. Target players draw 2 cards and loses 2 life. 2 mana, 2 life for 2 cards. Sign me up. Double black is hard. I'm only playing it in 2 color pairs. I'm unlikely to play it in a 3 color deck. Worth noting, you can kill your opponent if they are at 2, because it says target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. So this could be a 2 mana shock if you're desperate. Next, I have Tainted Pact. For 1 and a black, it's an instant. Exile the top card of your library. You may put a card into your hand, unless it has the same name as another card. Exile this way. Repeat this process until you put a card into your hand, or you exile until you put card into your hand, or exile 2 cards with the same name, whichever comes first. Sorry, the word was weird. So this is gonna draw you at least 1 card, and it could draw you upwards of God knows how many. Obviously, you're gonna be playing a lot of basic lands. Even though there are some dual lands, you're probably gonna have at least 7, you know, kind of thing. Maybe 6, 7. So at least 13 basics, 6 of one type, 7 of the other. You're gonna have a couple of them in play. So I don't know. You could draw a lot of cards here. So this is interesting. It gets better if you have also less copies of the same card, non-land cards. I like this card. Instant speed could draw a brick ton of cards. This is interesting. I never played with this card before. I've never seen this card before. Never seen it played before. So I don't know how good it actually is. But on paper, reading it, it sounds interesting. Tendrils of Agony. 2 and double black for sorcery. Target players loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, and it has Storm. Constructed. This is not going to be good in limited. You're probably going to be getting it maxed Storm equals 3 or 4. I mean, obviously your opponent losing 6, 8 life would be awesome, but like I think that's the best case scenario, and we are not dealing with the best case scenario most of the time. So most of the time I think you're going to be hitting your opponent for 4 life, which is nice, I guess, for 4 mana. I'm starting to change my mind, but no, I think most of the time it's going to be 4 mana, deal 2, gain 2. I don't like it. I want to stop reading it because I'm going to want to play it and be stupid and have a crappy deck with this. But let's just move on before I start to like it. But change my mind. This card might be good. So comment section, do you change your mind? Village Rites, 1 and a black. Well, singular black. Why do I say 1 and a black? Singular black for an instant. As additional cost, cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. We have pests in the format, so they are expendable tokens. So this gets a lot better. Again, a singular mana for a way to trigger Magecraft is really nice. Drawing 2 is nice. A creature that's about to die, you can sack it. Also love the purple. This is a fine card. It's going to be a filler card. It's going to be a bad card in most decks. It's going to be a fine card if you have expendable creatures. And it's going to be a good card if you have a lot of tokens. Yes. Next, I have Chaos Warp, Commander special card. 2 in a red for an instant. The owner of target permanent shuffles into its deck library. Review the top card of deck library again. If it's a permanent card, they put onto the battlefield. Otherwise, it goes into otherwise it just stays there. It doesn't go into the hand. Don't know how to feel about it. It's an interesting way for red to deal with cards usually wouldn't be able to. It might just come straight back. They might just get a land, or they might get nothing. I think this is. If you're hitting a good card from the battlefield, maybe like a bomb or like a hard to deal with creature, the odds of them hitting it again are probably going to be like 1 out of 23, 24. I don't know how many cards they would have drawn at that point of the game. Maybe a bit higher. 1 out of, let's say, 27, 28, which is not that high. So this is decent plus. I've never played a Chaos Warp. I've had it cast against me, and I've hit an Avenger of Zendikar when I was playing Commander, so I obviously have fond memories of it, but I feel like it's going to be a medium to decent to possibly decent plus card. Claim the first spoil. The singular red for sorcery, gain control of target creature mana value 3 or less until the turn. Untap that creature, gains haste until the turn. There are not many ways to sack creatures, so stealing a creature and sacking it is unlikely to happen. It's not like Act of Treason, so you can't take like a big creature to help you take away a big block and get the damage in. I think this was definitely just giving a cool artwork for constructed decks. So yeah, I'm not a fan. Faithless Looting, the art that everyone hated it. I've seen some of her artwork. Her artwork is very good. I think this one just didn't quite hit. At least for me, it didn't quite hit quite right. So it's a Faithless Looting is a singular red for a sorcery, draw 2, then it's card 2. So it's card disadvantage. Worth noting, card disadvantage. It has flashback for 2 in a black and a red. So I don't think this is that good in limited, especially in a non-powered environment where you're abusing your graveyard or getting some value out of it. Obviously, being a singular red is nice for Magecraft and having flashback, so that's even better for Magecraft. As you can cast it again. Sorry, I'm dying here. But I think it's a lot better it's a lot more constructed minded. But I would definitely end up playing this in some kind of Magecraft blue-red, red-white kind of deck. Next I have Grape Shot, 1 and a red for a sorcery. It deals 1 damage to any target and it has Storm. So Grape Shot I like a lot more than 10 Years of Agony and Mind's Desire because it's a lot cheaper. You probably can get it to be a 3 damage quite easily, and a 2 mana Lightning Bolt, obviously you're casting 2 other cards. Like a Lightning Strike is fine. Dealing 1 damage can kill a decent amount of creatures in this format, so that's also nice. So if you're getting 2 damage out of this, it's really nice. I don't think Storm is very nice with Magecraft, so that goes up in value a lot. I think in a Magecraft deck, I'm very keen and likely to play this. In a non-Magecraft deck, I might play as a 22nd, 23rd card, but otherwise I don't think I'm playing it. These first impressions, those are my first impressions for Grape Shot, but I do like Storm with Magecraft, obviously. Increasing Vengeance, double red for an instant. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. If this spell was casted from a graveyard, copy that spell twice instead, and you can flash it back for 5. I've never liked cards that copy spells in limited, because most of the time I feel like I'm just gonna be stuck with this and without something to copy. So I'm not a fan of this. I think it's gonna be interesting constructed, but I don't think it's gonna do a lot in limited. Next, having Infuriate, a singular red for an instant. A target creature gets +3/+2 until of turn. Great combat trick, singular mana, great for Magecraft. Love this card. Will be happy to having all my aggressive red decks, even a bit slower red decks as well. Lightning Bolt, oh I love you so much. Singular red for a instant that deals 3 damage to any target. That's good removal. That can kill your opponent as well. Can hit planeswalkers. Singular mana, Magecraft again. Singular mana, can get your Storm counter up. This card is fantastic. Please play this. I love it. I love Lightning Bolt. I miss you so dearly. I haven't played Modern in so long. Next, next I have Mizzix Mastery, 3 and a red for a sorcery. Exile target card that's an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. For each card exiled this way, you may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. And then it has Overload for 8. Exile target. Okay, so you can if you have Lightning Bolt, you can exile it and cast it again. And then for Overload, you may cast a spell for its overload cost. If you do, change this text by replace all instances of target with each. Okay, so instead of target, so like 1 Lightning Bolt, you get to copy each instance and sorcery, so you're gonna have to have a lot of instances, a decent amount. Like I probably wanna, if I'm spending 8 mana, probably 3 or 4, maybe even more. Probably 3 or 4 will be fine. 8 mana is a lot though. It becomes a second copy of your best instant and sorcery if it's in your graveyard for 4 mana. I don't think it's gonna be that good in draft, at least. I might be persuaded in sealed, but I don't think it's gonna be that good in draft. I think it's gonna be very possible in draft. Shock, single red for an instant that deals 2 damage to any target. Decent removal, can kill your opponents, and triggers Magecraft. Love it. Would be happy to have 7 Lightning Bolts and 14 Shocks in my deck. Next, Stone Rain. Oh my god, I love all of these cards. 2 and a red, destroy target land. This is probably not good, but I love it. I would love being on the play, turn 3, destroy my opponent's one of my opponent's land, and they're just sitting there going on turn 3 with one land and playing a land and passing the turn back to me. It's gonna be dead most of the time, but the one time I do that, I'm gonna love it. But let's be serious here. It's gonna be a medium card most of the time. It's gonna be good from the sideboard against someone that's playing more than 2 colors, especially if they're splashing like something powerful. But I'm gonna be playing this card a lot. It's definitely a medium card, but in my heart is a good card. Next, I have 3 of possibility. 1 in a red for an instant as additional cost to cast to cast the spell. Discard a card, draw 2 cards. I've never been a fan of 3 of possibility in limited. It has been in a handful of formats now. I've played it a couple of times. I don't like it. So for me, this card is not good, but that's how I've always felt about this kind of ability. With Magecraft, again, all instant swords to go up in value, but I still won't play it. But I can see arguments for it, so I'll probably say it's a medium filler-ish card, 22nd, 23rd, 24th card if you're playing 16 lands. Urza's Rage, 2 in a red for an instant. This spell can't be countered. It has a kicker for is that 9? Yes, 9. So for 12 mana. So if you paid only 3 mana, it deals 3 damage to any target, which is 3 mana, deal 3 damage that can't be countered, can kill a creature, can kill your opponent. That's good. I'm happy with that. If it was kicked, it deals 10 damage instead, and it can't be prevented. That probably kills your opponent, kills the biggest threat, although you are paying 12 mana for that cost. You're gonna be this is definitely a very good card. You're gonna be good card. Let's just leave it a good card. Definitely, I think very good is a bit of an exaggeration. You're gonna be costing for 3 mana, dealing 3 damage to something, which is good. It's fine. If it comes to a stage that you're paying the kicker cost and you're dealing 10 damage, that's fantastic. So it's a good card with potential of being amazing if you flood it out or you're ramping. Well, the game has gone long enough. Next, we're into a green now. We have Abundant Harvest. For single red, choose land or non-land. Review cards from the top of the library until you review a card of the chosen kind. Put a card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Sorry, that was a weird mouth sound I just made. How do I feel about this? So it's basically, so if you need lands, it becomes a land. If you need a non-land, it becomes a non-land. I don't care about it. Why am I not just playing an extra land? Or why am I not just playing an extra non-land? I guess if I'm low on playables, I might play this, but otherwise I don't think I like it. I think I might as well just play a different non-land card. Unless I'm skimping on lands, but why am I doing that if I'm playing a card that's looking for lands? I'm not sure. Next, I have Adventurous Impulse. Single green for sorcery. Look at the top 3. You may review a creature land, put it into your hand, and the rest in the bottom in any order. Again, Magecraft makes it go up, but I've never been a big fan of Adventurous Impulse. But I can see why people would like it. I think it's gonna be okay. I don't think it's a high pick. I think it's filler. I think it's definitely, again, another 23rd, 22nd, 23rd card. I wouldn't pick this highly at all. Channel is not good in... I'm really dying. Am I dying? I really hope I'm not dying right now. So Channel is really not good in a format that doesn't have like Eldrazi's or like some big mana artifact that impacts the board in such a way that you're probably winning in a couple turns. We don't have that in this format, so Channel is not going to be that good. Obviously, let me read the cards. Double green, turn of turn. Anytime you could activate a mana ability, you may pay 1 life. If you do, add colorless. So you could add 19 colorless mana and do something with it. That's not going to matter. That's just not going to matter. There isn't something impactful enough that you're willing to pay so much life to do. So this is just an F. This is not playable unless you've gotten like Mind's Desire and Tendrils of Agony, and you're playing some weird dumb deck that you shouldn't be able to play in a standard limited draft or in a standard set draft, then sure. But the odds of you getting that is so low that like this is just gonna be an unplayable card that you're probably gonna take just to get the gems because it's a mythic. Cultivate 2 and a green for sorcery, search away for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, put one into the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. Good for fixing, good for ramping. I think the format's gonna be slow enough that this is gonna be fine in your green decks. It's gonna be great in sealed as always to fix, because in sealed you're more likely to splash a color. I'm a big fan of Cultivate. I'm a 5 color Andy, so Cultivate is very high on my list. But I think even without my bias, it's still gonna be a decent card, let's say. Harmonize 2 and a green and 2 and double green for sorcery that draws 3 cards. Love it. Every green deck is gonna play this. 4 mana, draw 3. That's great. That's just great, especially in green, which is a color that used to lack card advantage. I guess with its friendship with blue lately doesn't lack as much, but in mono green, having a card like this is fantastic. Cross and Grip, split second, so as long as this is on the stack, nothing else can be put on the stack, which is pretty sick. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, and that's it. 3 mana, destroy target artifact or enchantment. I'm really sorry about this video. I genuinely feel like I'm dying right now, but I really wanted to put a video out because I've been craving, and I want to get all the reviews out before the set releases. So this is a sideboard card for sure. Destroy target. I mean, it's a sideboard card. There's not much else to say about it. I do love the art though. Natural Order 2 and double green for sorcery as additional cost to cast. Sacrifice a green creature. Search a library for green creature card, put into the battlefield, and shuffle your library. I guess it just says shuffle now. This is constructed. You're kind of like sacking a land or elves and getting the big fatty beast. It's not Primeval Titan. Create a Hoof Behemoth. In limited, you're not gonna be doing anything close to dumb enough to justify playing Natural Order. Yeah, I think this is like a D if not an F. Like, there's an off chance that there's a deck for this, like a very specific deck that wants this, but I think most of the time it's gonna be an F. Primal Command 3 and double green for a sorcery, choose 2. I love choosing 2. Target player gains 7 life. Put target non-creature permanent on top of its own library. Yay. Target player shuffles their graveyard onto the library, so you can shuffle your own graveyard. You can put something on top of your opponent's library and then make them shuffle so it goes away. Or search a library for a creature card and put it into your hand. Like, all 4 of them are relevant. One of the shuffle one is only relevant if you put target non-creature permanent on top of its own library, or if you're about to mill out. Gaining 7 life is relevant. Searching for your best creature is relevant. I do like this card. This is a very good card. Next, I have Regrowth. 1 and a green for sorcery. Return that card from your graveyard to your hand. I liked Balaget Recovery because it was land. I don't know how to feel about Regrowth. It returns any card, which is nice. It doesn't limit you to like to a creature or land. I really don't know how to feel about it. I'm gonna say it's like a C plus, like a medium, kind of on the way, but I could definitely be persuaded to say it's a good card. I don't think it's ever gonna be a good card, but I think it's always gonna be like, at least it's always gonna be an okay card, never good, sometimes bad. I think that's the best way to say it. So always medium, always at least medium, never good, sometimes bad. Wait, that doesn't make sense. You get what I mean. Or if you don't, please pretend you do. I'm old, I'm tired. Snakeskin Veil. I love Snakeskin Veil and Caldhelm. So it's a single green, put a +1/+1 count on target creature, so you make your creature bigger, and it gains hexproof. You dodge removal. This card is good. Single green, Magecraft. This card is fantastic. Love me some Snakeskin. I'll definitely pick this card. Weather the Storm. 1 and a green for an instant. You gain 3 life and it has Storm. Nope. Nope. Imagine going off of Storm and you just gain 12 life. why are you doing that? I could see this being sideboarded against a hyper aggressive deck, but other than that, I don't care about it. I don't care. I don't want to see it. This is a D minus because I might sideboard this in against aggressive decks, but I definitely wouldn't pick this highly. Next, I have D Spark. So now we're into the multicolor cards, which that's only 5. So white and a black for an instant exile type of mana value 4 grade. This is good removal for your opponent's impactful play, or impactful creature, planeswalkers, enchantments, artifacts, for the bomb. So this is a good removal. I would definitely play I would 100% play Norzov if I'm black. Black green splashing white, I'll play it there. If I'm white red splashing black, I'll play it there. If I'm 4 color, I'll play it there. This is good removal for the more impactful creatures. Next I have Electrolyze. 1, a blue and a red for an instant. It deals 2 damage divided as you choose, and you draw a card. So it replaces itself, and you can potentially kill up to 2 creatures. You could also just deal 2 damage to their face if you're desperate. This is a card that I'm happy to play in Izzet. I'm less likely to play it on a splash. If I'm blue-red splashing a color, I'll definitely play it. If I'm blue X or red X splashing a color, splashing the other one, I don't think I'll quite play it. But it's definitely a good card in blue-red, and replacing itself is always good, especially in format with Magecraft. I mentioned Magecraft a lot, don't I? Next I have Growth Spiral. Probably the most underwhelming of the 5. Draw a card, you may put a land card from your hand into the battlefield, so green, blue. So I kind of liked. I was medium on Growth Spiral in its format, and I think my opinion hasn't changed. And I think this format has even less late game where Growth Spiral, where ramping will really matter. I think Growth Spiral is filler. I think it's gonna be filler in this format. You're gonna play in your blue-green decks. I don't think you're gonna play elsewhere. Maybe if you're blue-green splashing colors, then yeah, sure, drawing cards and playing extra lands, nice. Especially if you're splashing and then going upper land. Maybe if you're playing 18, 19 lands. I have played those amounts before, so yeah, I could see Growth Spiral there, but I'm not a big fan. Lightning Helix. Can I just play Modern Burn here? Red and a white for an instant, deals 3 damage to any target in game 3 life. This is good removal, this is a good life swing, you can go face. This is a good card. I'm happy to play in Boros and also happy to splash it. So yeah, this is good. This is very, very good. Putrefy, another very good one. 1, a black and a green for an instant, destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. So this is a murder, but instead of being double black, it's black green, and that's good. And even has the possibility of hitting an artifact. This is a good card. I'm happy to play this as well. On a splash, on black green, this is a good card. So yeah. So a lot of these cards are a lot of these cards are good. I don't think that many of them they are very, very good and like literally like game ending. I don't think any of them are game ending. A lot of them are like annoying, but I don't think there's enough of them that are game ending. So, and a lot of them are not even playable. So Mystical Archive is definitely gonna be interesting. I wanna see how it plays out. How often are we gonna see these mythics? These rares as well, the uncommon, most of them that don't matter. So I think it's gonna be an interesting format with the archive on top, since it comes 1 in each pack. But do let me know your opinion in the comment section below. I'm gonna try to take another day or 2 off, and I'm gonna try to record the 2 gold parts and the colorless part soon. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good day, and until next time, see ya.